Hello, boys. Hello, gals. Hello, non-binary pals. It's Matthew Donald, and happy Pride Month. Here I am on this Pride Month to discuss the Patreon at patreon.com/Matthew Donald, where we discuss pop culture featuring prehistoric animals as bonus episodes for this show, Paleo Bites. Last month's episode is still to come. There's been some delays regarding it, but it will come soon. But the one after that, for this month, for this Pride Month, we got the best prehistoric gay romance that the silver screen has seen in many, many years. It's Godzilla x Kong. Oh, such an awesome movie and a wonderful addition to the Monsterverse. And yes, it counts as a gay romance. It's called Godzilla x Kong, you dumb butts. They're totally in love, as are some of the human characters. There's several characters that could be argued to be in love. But yeah, go check that out. Link is in the description where we discuss this movie for this Pride Month, as well as nearly 50 other movies / TV shows or games or whatever, all featuring dinosaurs. One of them a web browser. That was fun. Thank you so much for your support, and have a good day, and happy Pride Month. Gotta keep on being gay. Unless you're not gay, then keep on being not gay. But we're all proud. Rainbows.
Roar. Growl. Snarl. Bellow.
Welcome to Paleo Bites, the podcast that, like the armored dinosaurs throughout their evolution, spiked at the beginning before flattening out. My name is Matthew Donald, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week, I'm joined by someone who is currently eating pretzels, but yet is still way more professional than me because I'm currently playing the video game Hades 2 as we're recording. It's Ben O'Regan. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Yeah, because I'm a professional and I'm addicted to this game, and I needed to get this recorded because this is kind of my job now. Although it doesn't really make me a lot of money yet, but I'm working on it, okay? Guys, subscribe to my Patreon. Yeah. So, but to show my continued professionality, I am currently playing Hades 2 while recording because I love this game and I'm ADHD enough that I can multitask like that. So, have you played any of the Hades games?
I've seen people play them. I haven't played any of them myself.
Yeah. Are you a fan of roguelikes at all, or I don't know? Because I'm not really.
I don't know what a roguelike actually is, in all honesty.
Okay, roguelike is a game where it's like you fight... I'm fairly certain it's like you fight a lot of dungeons or whatever, but it's all randomly generated.
Sort of like the original Diablo.
Yeah, and like, but then like you die, and you die a lot, but you kind of have to, and every time you go back, it's different, and as you keep playing, you get stronger and stronger and stronger. Because there's certain abilities that there's certain things that like build up through your playthroughs, but there are some that only build up during just a single playthrough. So like and those are all random too. So you get in Hades, for instance, you get boons from certain gods like Zeus or Demeter or
I've
Artemis.
seen that.
Yeah, like Aphrodite, and then they're random which ones you get each game, and you get to pick one of 3 randomly ones each game, and then but like the chambers are a little bit different each time. There's always the same boss at the end.
Yeah.
So,
and I know that they specifically picked Zagreus, and I think his sister is Macaria or something similar.
Milione or
Milione, sorry, yeah.
Milione, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce
it. There's not a lot on them in the what's left over from the old mythology, so they were effectively blank slates.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, like because they're from the mythology, but like 1 or 2 lines, kind of like how. To use another mythology, and this will piss some people off saying this is mythology, but come on, let's be honest, it is. In the Noah movie, some people got onto them for adding so much to the story, and it's like, it's a 2-page story. Like in the Bible. There's not a lot.
Yeah. I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with calling it a mythology. I mean, some of the YouTubers I listen to learn up on old religious lore, like on the esoteric stuff like Lilith and that tends to be more in the demonology side of things and all that stuff. Some of them are actual believers, but their stance is, when it comes to discussing like the actual religious lore, leave your beliefs at the door.
Right, exactly. Because like I'm not religious.
I mean, I'm calling Greek myth mythology, and you know me, I actually am a believer in the old Greek myth in my own way.
Yeah.
Hellenismus and all that.
Nice. I'm not religious, but I'm not atheist either. I'm agnostic. I'm the lazy man's atheist.
And I used to be like that. No, there's actually nothing wrong with being agnostic. It's a reasonable position if you're not sure.
No, I know. But and I still think, I think it's mythology, because, if you look at, there's a lot of similarities. Like, almost every mythology has a flood story. The whole thing of Eve biting the apple and causing evil to be unleashed. How is that any different than Pandora's? Pandora, yeah. So, I don't know.
A lot of religions have the whole man grew proud thing as well.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And that's why we like the Noah movie, because man grew proud and industrial. They have steampunk stuff. Anyways, well, here's my brilliant segue into this. So we were talking about Greek gods. A lot of these dinosaurs and prehistoric animals have Greek names. And speaking of which, we're talking about Leptictidium.
Best known from Walking with Dinosaurs, where it hops around like a kangaroo.
Walking with beasts, to be precise. Yeah, that's no worries. You're okay. You got so upset at yourself about that. Calm down, man.
No, just not the name, just the fact that I sweared. I was like,
oh, I can add that. Don't worry. Not a big deal.
I normally get the name right, but because generally the one I watch is Walking with Dinosaurs, not Beasts, so the name's jumbled up in my head.
Well, they do a kind of a funny thing in Walking with Beasts where they show Leptictidium in a flashback to dinosaur times, because there were not Leptictidium itself, but there were relatives in this family in the Cretaceous period. So that's what they were like. They were showed them hiding from the dinosaurs. So, but no, in terms of Leptictidium himself, the name means graceful weasel. By the way,
I was trying to find a thing about its name and nothing was coming up.
Yeah, like Leptoceratops. Like that.
So it means graceful.
Thing. Yeah, so like graceful. Yeah, so I guess Tidium means weasel.
They're an interesting group. They literally left no descendants that we know of.
Exactly. And also they might not have been fully, I think they were Eutherian, but were they placentals? They might not have been. I don't know. I think they might have been
mammalia. Have a look.
Right, but I think they're not. I think they're not fully placental mammals. I mean, they still gave birth, but they didn't give birth through. It's one of that weird gray area. It
says here, Leptictidia is possibly paraphyletic extinct order of eutherian mammals.
I knew it was Eutherian,
They're generally classed under the superorder Afrotheria.
Oh, so they are placental. Oh, that's right. They're related to like elephants and aardvarks and manatees, that kind of thing.
There was a lot of thing with just some of these early mammal groups. Some had close relatives in like modern groups but left no descendants. Others have left descendants but they've never regained the success they had, because there are a few orders like the Ultimapheres and Brontopheres and that they were really big in the like Oligocene, and I think one of the two, I'm mixing them up, were only the Paleocene or Eocene, and then they didn't.
Well, there were some, like I learned recently, there's like there are these really big ones that were like the main dominant large mammals in the Paleocene and Eocene, but then they went extinct and they left no descendants, and I don't think they were placentals. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Well, I mean, there's the multiburculates, if I'm saying their name right. They were quite successful, and then they petered off. We don't know why.
Right.
It's like some of the early mammals that came in to fill voids died off relatively quickly as other groups evolved, because their specialization was basically just getting big really quickly to fill a role. Yeah. And then something more specialized displaces them.
Yeah. It tends to happen right after a mass extinction, like the one that killed the dinosaurs. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
It also happened in the Triassic. I mean, especially after the ferricids and other mammal-like reptiles started getting pushed aside, you had all these different relatives of the dinosaurs coming about. Diapsids, sorry.
Yeah, and then diapsids, but then also a lot of therapsids. And the really interesting thing to me is that a little bit, and I guess this makes sense because this is the remnants of what came before, but in the beginning of the age of dinosaurs, the Triassic, the main dominant life form was not the dinosaurs. It was like the therapsids and the other archosaurs. Sorry, I just defeated Scylla in Hades 2.
The earliest parts of the early Triassic were basically extensions of the Permian minus the Great Dying to an extent. Like it was different, but they were the same sort of orders filling similar roles. You had the wolf-like,
Absolutely.
Gorgonopsid-like cynodont types. I've probably got the names are wrong, but you get where I'm going.
No, you're... Yeah, the Therocephalians, kind of, basically.
Yes, that's it.
But then also, at the beginning of the age of mammals, there were a lot of reptiles and birds that were dominant rather than mammals, which I think is interesting. But anyways,
including
in terms of
Gastornis, which in the same Walking with Beasts episode was depicted as a eater
as a
of
predator,
early
but
horses. It's probably a seed cracker.
It is seed or fruit frugivore. Like that bill kind of looks more like a toucan's bill anyway. So
it also looks
makes sense.
incredibly ugly in how it's depicted.
Oh, for sure. But anyway, so Leptictidium is a lepticid, a group of mammals, like you said, that first evolved in late Cretaceous and survived until the extinction. They survived the Cretaceous extinction, but then they died out unceremoniously in the Oligocene. What a bunch of wimps. But size 2 to 3 feet / 60 to 90 centimeters long, 6 to 8 pounds. A little bit bigger than you might think from looking at this thing, but not like huge. So
yeah, probably like on the Wikipedia image for it shows it going a bit above a full-grown male's ankles.
Yeah, exactly. So it was bigger than a squirrel for sure. It was like the size of like maybe a bit smaller than a wallaby, but I don't know, but it was an omnivore, although leaning more towards carnivory. In Walking with Beasts, it was depicted as a predator and ate a bunch of
posture,
frogs.
It has a theropod-like body plan.
That's the thing too. And we'll get into this for sure.
Because there was this trend in early speculative evolution things where people saying mammals can't evolve a dinosaurian body plan. It's like actually they can and have.
They can and they have. Yeah.
Hell, kangaroos have a dinosaur-like one as it is.
I mean, now, to be fair, they hop, which is one of the reasons why they weren't sure if this one hopped. But the only reason why, from what I've read, they think that this one might have hopped, and they don't think it... They're not sure. It's just because kangaroos hopped. And it's weird to think of a mammal not hopping if it's bipedal.
And then you've got, like, the kangaroo mice and similar animals that have, like, the jerboa and that, so...
Yeah, the jerboas, so, like...
And the reason they probably hop, not only is it very energy efficient and fast as a form of locomotion, although it's rare that it evolves... but it's probably better for balance on a mammal having a theropod-like body plan, because one of the reasons, like, when you look at swimming mammals, I mean, it's a bit different with dogs and tigers, but, like, seals and similar things, they all have the up-down motion that whales and dolphins use, and that's because it's more energy efficient with the way our spines have evolved than the side-to-side one used by crocodiles and that.
Yeah, that's why whale tails, the flukes are horizontal, while in ichthyosaurs, they're vertical. So, exactly. So, and this, I was going to make a joke like, how do we know that theropod dinosaurs didn't hop? Maybe all bipeds hop, but then I remembered ostriches exist. And I know, but then I remembered ostriches exist, and they don't hop. So, like, but, so.
And fun fact, ostriches do not stick their head in the ground.
Yeah, that's just a myth. But it's a funny one, though.
So
time, early to late Eocene, 50 to 35 million years ago. Location, Germany and France. Two countries that have always liked each other. So, described in 1962, pop culture appearances, most famously in Walking with Beasts, as we said. Where was the protagonist of the first episode and one of the few survivors of that local lake's big fart. Yes, that is a plot in the series. It makes more sense if you watch it. But as well as life after dinosaurs, and apparently an episode of Jimmy Neutron of all places. You ever watched Jimmy Neutron when you were younger?
Yes, I did watch a little bit of it.
It's kind of funny
he had the robot dog, didn't he? And the Elvis-like hairdo, because he had a big head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny how well the CGI holds up for it. I mean, obviously it's very outdated and cartoony, but they have such specifically cartoony designs that doesn't seem as... It doesn't age as badly. I think that's why it's aged quite well, whereas you compare it to, like, Beast Wars or Shadow Raiders or even Roughneck Chronicles, they look awful. Or reboots. That looks terrible. Even some of the early VeggieTales, I mean, even though that also used some good cartoon design, some of the early ones are kind of hard to watch. So
even some of the early Pixar looks friggin' awful. Like, Toy Story's age well because of its style, but, like, A Bug's Life looks kind of bad.
Bug's Life looks all right, but some parts of it definitely look better than others.
Like the bird.
I think The Incredibles looks awful, but that's just my opinion. I think The Incredibles looks surprisingly bad. There's several scenes that I like. The running scene with Dash at the end. It has. And Finding Nemo as well. I think there was a big leap in animation quality between The Incredibles and Cars, and also a really big leap between Cars and Ratatouille. Ratatouille looks amazing still.
Yeah. That was why they didn't really depict humans so much in the new ones. I mean, you do see Andy in that and Toy Story in that, but that stuff's very limited.
Yeah, the first major human... first major human character is, I think, Boo.
And she's in a monster suit half the time.
Exactly. So, so Leptictidium. Unfortunately, to learn more about it, I'm going to have to pause Hades 2. Yep. But I'm not fighting against Kronos, so it's okay.
Potential factors in its extinction, from what I'm reading, obviously the world was a hothouse, fairly uniform and tropical in the Eocene. And there are forested ecosystems almost everywhere, so maybe that's why it didn't leave descendants. It was just too adapted to the hot forested climate and couldn't adapt to the lack of cover once forest started to give way to woodland and grassland and stuff.
Exactly. Well, like that, the whole evolution of grass and the drying of everything, like it was really a big deal and led to a lot of big extinctions for sure. So, but like the interesting thing is, like, we always think of dinosaur times as being all hot and like humid, but then and it was. But for a brief period in the Eocene, it actually got even hotter and even potentially even more humid. So not
basically
Carboniferous
as close
levels,
as possible to the Carboniferous without having that. Even the Carboniferous had ice caps.
That's true. The Carboniferous wasn't actually as hot. The Carboniferous was just more humid and had more oxygen. But so actually, the Carboniferous, it was actually kind of ironic. When I looked up the Carboniferous, it wasn't as hot. It was actually a brief mini ice age kind of was going. The average temperature was only 15 degrees Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. I'm bad with Celsius.
It was just one of the areas where we had the very first trees, and I use quotes at it because a lot of them were giant horsetails and groups that have left no descendants, so not true trees.
Right.
But were the first time flora were able to get really big.
Right. Exactly. And it's kind of the same here. I wonder if there were some big insects. Now, obviously, in the Walking a Beast episode, there was the giant ants, which was they weren't real, but they were kind of rule of cool, or in my case, rule of horrifying. Yes. I cannot watch that scene of them eating the baby bird as soon as it hatches from the egg.
Well, I can purely because the bird looked friggin' ugly.
I love birds, and I just also I lost a bird.
Birds. I just don't like ugly birds.
Fair enough.
Wait, you lost a bird?
I lost Penny. Remember a couple years ago?
I thought you were talking about as in your current one.
No, Lyra's still alive and well. So, cool. But no, Penny died of head trauma, and that was really sad to see. And ever since, I've gotten really sad whenever seeing a bird hurt in movies, even if it's fake.
I understand. Probably didn't know that she's they're both your companion animals, your birds. Yeah. The current one and the previous
they're
one.
Almost like emotional support animals, almost. Like they help me regulate my emotions. So, also, there's a really helpful website. I don't know if you've heard of this, and I'll probably edit this out because this is unrelated to what we're talking. Oh, I guess it sort of is with the bird. But have you heard of the website doesthedogdie.com?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so it's not just about does the dog die. It's specifically about emotional spoilers for people in case they want to watch something but they're afraid they might get triggered by something.
For movies, I get you. No, I think I've heard of this one.
Movies or TV shows. It's like does an animal die? Does the animal get hurt? Is there depictions of stalking or rape, or is there and even something as subtle as is it a movie that spoils for kids that there's no Santa Claus? So
basically it's sort of like a trigger warning type website, but without the negative connotations that term implies.
It's very much one of my favorite bits of this episode, the bits of this website that is funny. It's have you heard of the movie Knowing?
No.
Knowing is it's a weird movie, but at the end, it's a Nicolas Cage movie. But at the end, the Earth gets destroyed by a giant solar flare, and everyone dies except for a few kids that were saved by angel aliens. It's weird, but. So you see the Earth get destroyed and incinerated, and on doesthedogdie.com, they have the question, does the dog die? And they're like, well, technically yes, because every dog dies, because everything on Earth dies, but you don't see any dogs die, so no. I think that's kind of funny.
If you definitely can't handle seeing dogs dying or being hurt, do not watch John Wick, the first one.
Well, I think John Wick actually gets a bit of a pass because, yes, it's so hard seeing the dog get killed. That's a rough scene, but at the same time, it means that when John Wick gets his revenge and kills everyone, you're like, get him.
Right. It's more that thing, but it's more the fact that Alan Alfie, I think, is going to be played Theon in Game of Thrones. His character kicks the dog, from what I remember of the scene, because I've seen the sequels recently, but not the original in a while. So when it comes to John the next day, the puppy didn't die straight away. It managed to crawl to him.
I know, I've seen that scene. It's rough, man. But
I'm just like that. I get that it's often a thing for villains, even and people in general who don't like their kids to try and protect them anyway, unless they're absolute scumbags themselves. But like, if I were the guy playing his dad in that movie, I would have just let John get inside. You killed his dog. You're an asshole.
Yeah, you deserve whatever he's gonna come to give to you. Like, So Leptictidium is actually interesting. We have some really great fossils for it, including like with stuff still in its stomach. Like, it's really cool.
Indeed.
Like, and Leptictidium is a very fascinating animal. Like, a lot of the pictures I've seen of it give it like rabbit legs almost, or like where it hops, but like like little theropod arms, but with specifically kangaroo posture rather than the non-pronated hands of theropod dinosaurs that we have now.
Just goes to show that, I don't know if it's necessarily possible with marsupials due to the pouch, but something like your bipedimals could evolve one day.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Wildlife for Tomorrow, and for listeners who don't know, that was my story I wrote before Megazoic that involved animals in the future, but with, like Futures Labo is more of a narrative as well as an exploration of the future. But as well as the bipedimals, this animal is pretty much the exact inspiration for the mini hoppers. So to the point where the mini hoppers were basically these things. Like, there was very little difference. I think they even had trunks. Like,
that's right. Because Rufus wasn't he? He was Miko's best friend.
Miko's best friend, and then there was Clara, and the two of them, went. And Rufus was a little bit of a gadgeteer genius, except he used like acorns and other sort of stuff to But back to Leptictidium.
Mentioning the fart from that episode, the big volcanic eruption under the
big
water.
Volcanic fart.
The reason they include that is because the region where Leptictidium's fossils are found, in what is today Germany, was volcanically active during the Eocene. It's thought that the Messel pits could have been the old location of a volcanic lake saturated with CO2, which would periodically release as a lethal cloud, asphyxiating any animals nearby. As the episode showed, although in that case an earthquake set it off.
Right. Well, it's like there was little earthquakes visually. It's like they mentioned that the earthquakes are common, but then like this one's bigger than normal, and then and some of the Godanosha go out with a bang in that episode. By literally, I mean, because they were
the monkeys having sex in the trees.
Yeah, and then it was their fault, man. No, or God was punishing them for sinning, but no. Man. So
it might have been Poseidon. One of his roles was earthquakes, after all.
That's true. It's true indeed. But wait, Poseidon was also one of the lords of horses, and that thing killed all the many horses then too. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing with the Greek gods is a lot of them are dicks.
That's true. That is true. Okay, never mind then. It was Poseidon. But, yeah, Leptictidium. So, the big thing about Leptictidium, and we've talked about this, but, like, other than just being, like, a really unique little creature that left no descendants, is did it run or jump? And it's funny how it really goes back and forth. Like, we really don't know. Because, like, some people say that, like, the series of apparently some paleontologists, like Mr. Kenneth D. Rose, compared the species with some other Leptictidiums to determine that one of them showed traits of running, which sometimes move by jumping. But then there's some that also measure the related animal Leptictis, and that one seems to have more the leg articulations that were built more for hopping.
I guess it reminds me a bit of the debate over, if I've got the name right, hallucigenia. We're still not sure which end the spikes and legs were on, like which end is up and which is down.
I think we figured that out, but it was eventually up. It was upside down from what we initially thought. So, and backwards too. So, but then also contradictory information. Leptictidium, its leg articulations appear too weak to support the shock of repeated jumps, but it does have really, really long feet, which is a really big evolutionary trait for jumping. So
indeed. Well, it's very hard to jump with short legs.
Yeah. Well, not just short legs, long feet. Like those long ones where like the toe, the thumb toe is way off the ground, like a flamingo. So they weren't plantigrade like us humans, where we have the entire foot on the ground rather than just the toes. So, bears are also plantigrade.
Yeah, they walk flat foot like us.
You know what else is plantigrade that you might not realize? There is dinosaurs.
Ah, that actually makes sense. Because I've seen some of their leg postures, and I've never really paid too much attention, but now you mention it.
Yeah, so...
And we think some of the sauropods might have been like that, because, so to speak, because they didn't have elephant-like feet.
No, I know. Like
legs are weird.
Yeah, they are. And, like, a lot of times, like, for the sauropods, only, like, the front... Like, actually, Jurassic World did get this right with their depiction of Apatosaurus. They only have one visible toe on the front feet, and it's their thumb claw. All the others, there are no, like, pads. Or, like, it's
basically
all within
just
the skin.
like human finger bones if you cut off the first curve on them where the nails grow and that.
Uh-huh.
Weird.
Exactly. Oh, man. Weird indeed. Feet are weird. My friend of the show and frequent co-host Lexi Ryan is really, really disgusted by feet, and I don't blame her. So, like...
Same here. Bare feet just weird me out. I don't know why.
I like to be barefoot when I'm at home, but, like...
Oh, yeah, same here. I'm just meaning I don't get this thing where people have a whole thing about where they're like, oh... bare feet are beautiful or something. I mean, I'm not talking about in a fetish way either, but just like the whole...
Yeah, like not a Quentin Tarantino style way.
No.
Oh, man. But yeah, I remember when there was jokes when like Quentin Tarantino, he releases his lists of favorite movies every year, and for 2010, every now and then he includes like a like sort of unique one, and it's like, oh, that's interesting, he liked that one as much. And for 2010, one of his favorite movies he said was Tangled. And everyone's like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. And at some point, no, oh, that's the one. Rapunzel's barefoot that entire movie. Damn it, Quentin Tarantino. All right, so Leptictidium, did it hop, did it run? Who knows? Who cares? Let's rate it 1 out of 65 billion.
65 on my end. I'm beating you to it.
Oh, really? Okay, fine. I'm going to give it 61 million. I don't know why I'm rating it so high. Maybe just peer pressure. Actually, no, I do quite like it. I mean, it was the inspiration for not only the mini hopper, but also a little bit of the bipedal as well for my Wild of Tomorrow books.
And I very fondly remember that, even if it's not every detail. So hence me giving it that rating.
Exactly. Oh, man, part of me wants to go back, but, like, I definitely would have... My writing has improved so much since then I would want to restart or reboot in some way.
Why don't you just go find the old text from one of the old Spec Evo sites that's still around and just polish it up, and then you can start a rewrite later on. Maybe.
That's a good idea, for sure. Because there's a lot of cool ideas in it, for sure. Anyways, 64 million... Wait, 61 million, I think is whatever I rated it. No one's keeping track. Okay, so, all right. Well, that's it for this week. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can contact me at palebytespodcast@gmail.com, palebytespod on Twitter, and palebytespodcast everywhere else, like TikTok. You can find me on social media at Matthew Donald Creator on Facebook and Matthew Donald 64 everywhere else, like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And if you want to contact any of the co-hosts like Ben, usually the best ways is to contact that email I just said before, so that you can I can relay the messages. So
yeah, just because while I'm sure some people may be able to find my Facebook or even some of my other accounts and things with different names, I prefer not to be randomly Facebooked by people I don't know.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah. That's friend notifications. That's a bit different than like a professional Facebook account, which is what I have as well as my personal one. I have a book series on Amazon, Megazoic, available for print and Kindle. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. We're talking about the Deccan Traps. Although that might be cut out. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe I'll cut that out and leave this in and really confuse listeners.
At least we did stay mostly on topic, even when we went off topic. It was all related to the animal.
True. It was. To be fair, it was. It was in some way.
It's not like the early ones where I'd start a Star Wars rant out of the blue.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. Good stuff. Also, what else is there? Oh, that's pretty much it. I give Hades 2 65 million. I know it's not prehistoric animal, but I'm rating it anyway. 65 million for Hades 2.
And I can't in good conscience review it because I haven't played it. And I probably won't. I've got too many games to play through.
Fair enough, for sure. All right, well, that's it for this week. It's the end of our episode of Paleobites. I guess this goes like... Hop, 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 or run, run, run. It depends. Nice one.